Hello everyone, my name is Isaac Ukachukwu. I was originally born in Nigeria, but I grew up in Pendleton, Oregon, and I currently live in La Grande, Oregon. And I identify as bisexual. So as someone that is part of the LGBTQ community, sometimes our given family doesn't understand who we are. They don't understand how to love and accept us. So we have what's known as a chosen family. A chosen family are people that are not related, but they support and love an LGBTQ plus person. I have a beautiful chosen family. They love me for who I am. They accept me for who I am. Some of them even call me their son. It's important to have a chosen family because a lot of people in the LGBTQ community struggle with their identity. Suicide rate is extremely high in the LGBTQ community. Having at least one or more people that support someone that's part of the LGBTQ community can really change the outcome, and a lot of people in the community don't have that support. I mean, you see that with our homeless. My family, my biological family, made it very difficult for me to accept myself. They told me that it was wrong, it was an abomination, it was evil. My biological father went as far as saying that I'm not his son. I grew up in a religious household, and it was just hard because my whole life I was taught that it was a choice, but why would I choose to be persecuted? Why would I choose to deal with homophobia, to deal with suicide? Why would I make a choice to do all those things? And my parents even put me into a form of conversion therapy where my uncle, who was a pastor, tried to fix me, so to speak. And it ended up just making me feel worse about myself. I had to come to terms with the fact that I am who I am. My sexuality doesn't define me. I'm still a good person. That's what I tell myself. It's just like, I might be different, but I'm still a good person. I can still contribute to society. I can still do good things. And I had to stand up to my father, and that was the hardest part, is just seeing the look of disappointment on his face. It was very difficult culturally in my country of origin, just like many countries that are not part of the Western world, like the United States or Europe. It's illegal. In Nigeria, if you're lucky, the punishment is 10 years of prison. In a lot of cases, it ends up being in death. A lot of people outside of the United States are being murdered for loving who they love, for being their most authentic self. I was very confused. I didn't know what I was, and I didn't have the language to express and explain who I was until I came to the United States, and I still struggled with it. I was like, how could I like men or be bisexual when I was an athlete? I mean, I did sports, I did manly things, I joined the military, I joined the Oregon Army National Guard. I was a combat medic, and unfortunately there were some very inappropriate words used to describe people like me. And I didn't want people to think that I was using my job, because in the medical field you have to touch people. I didn't want them to think that I was using that as a way to be inappropriate. Unfortunately, in the Army, words like faggot or queer bag are dropped almost every other word. It's kind of part of the culture to be homophobic in the military, and I thought, wow, I can't live my truth while I'm serving in the military. And a lot of LGBTQ plus soldiers share that same sentiment. A lot of us do get harassed or made to feel like we don't belong. As someone that's obviously part of the Black community is very homophobic, and it's hard when people that look like you, people that have the same struggle as you, still don't accept you and still don't see you as part of their tribe. Even within the LGBTQ community, I'm not seen, I don't belong because I'm bisexual. And I don't belong in the Black community because I'm bisexual. I don't belong in the African community because I'm bisexual. I can't even go back to my own country of origin because I'm bisexual. Even going to therapy, it's been a battle. I'm constantly fighting silent battles, and even to this day, I still feel shame around my identity. I'm still healing from past wounds. There's so much that we have to deal with being part of the community, and people don't see that. LGBTQ plus people are a very at-risk population, and unfortunately, they're not accepted or loved the way they're supposed to. We also have to fight legislation that works in opposition of us being true to ourselves. With the Don't Say Gay bill, it's taken away many resources that help homeless and struggling LGBTQ plus youth. They don't have the same protection anymore. They're getting their First Amendment right taken away from them. A lot of people think that by people in the community living their truth that they're gonna convert our children and turn them gay, when that's clearly not the case. It's creating a problem that doesn't exist, and there's innocent people that are getting punished for that. Ever since that bill passed, there's been an increased suicide rate of LGBTQ plus youth in Florida. And it's unfortunate that they don't have access to resources, they cannot come out, and they also risk being outed to family members that are not supportive. There's both sides. Luckily, we do have people that are fighting and they're in support of the LGBTQ community. There are a lot of straight allies protesting against this bill, especially in states like Alabama, which also has their own version of the Don't Say Gay bill. It's just hard that our entire lives are political, and there's plenty of people within our own government that want to take away things like same-sex marriage. There are certain states where if I was to have a same-sex partner, we couldn't adopt a child, even though there are studies showing that there's no difference which parental group they grew up with. Good parents are good parents, no matter what. And I think these bills are robbing children of an opportunity to have parents. So with all these laws and pushback against people in the community, if you truly want to show support, be a conscious voter. As young people, we need to vote. We need to use our voices, because someone you know is probably part of the community. Someone you love is part of the community. Use your voices. If you know someone that's in the community and they're not out, please do not try to pull them out of the closet. Just be patient, show them love, show them empathy, and when they're ready to come out, embrace them with open arms. The only thing that gives me reason to look up are my friends. Every time I came to the edge of suicide, I thought about the people who loved me. I had very vivid memories of coming out to some really close friends, and they loved me. They hugged me. They told me that I was okay. This journey has been hard, but it's been the most rewarding. I'm very thankful to have my straight allies, people who are willing to understand even though they've never been in my shoes. I'm thankful for people in the LGBTQ community that had the courage to come out. Those people were my greatest role models. They influenced me. They showed me that it was okay to be who I am, that I'm not a mistake, that I can still be loved, I can still be valued. I've met many people in the community, all with beautiful stories of overcoming their traumas, overcoming their baggages. I want to be that for the next generation of people in the community. I want to represent hope. I love who I am, and I accept myself. I've come out to myself, I've come out to other people, and I know that there is a gay Black boy out there who needs a message of hope, who needs an example, And I want to be an example, and I want to help people, because I know how hard it is to be who I am. I know that there are people in the community that are in worse circumstances. Some of them are not even alive to tell their story. This video is to give someone hope that the struggle is hard, but you will find your people. There are people that will love you. There are people that will validate you. It's hard at first, but you'll be seen. You'll have a beautiful community. If your given biological family doesn't accept you, there's a chosen family that would be very excited to have you. If you know someone who's struggling with suicide, there are resources. There's the Trevor Project, there's the suicide hotline, and then there's just you being a good neighbor.